Ladies and gentlemen, this is 21 minutes of sports. I'm here with Wanda. I'm going to have her, be a part of the show because she is the number one part of my life.
Just a part of it. I've been explained that before we start recording. Just a small part.
Let's start off. Saquon Barkley was the number 2 overall pick, but is he the real running back that everybody says he is? Is he the best thing since Adrian Peterson? I don't think so.
You gonna let me know what's my part?
Yes. 6 games, under 75 yards rushing against the Big Ten, and not all those Big Ten teams, with the exception of Ohio State and Wisconsin, were really good run defenses. Against Ohio State, 47 yards. So is this really the back? No. In 2 or 3 years from now, you'll be saying Sony Michel was the best running back. The New England Patriots got it right. Baker Mayfield, the number 1 pick in the draft. I'm sorry, Baker, you went to the Browns, but you know what? For some reason, something tells me Baker Mayfield will make that organization better. And maybe sooner than you think. Go ahead, Wanda.
Okay, it's my turn now?
Yes, what do you think about Baker and all his things, though? Is his off-the-field problems...
Well, you said I could talk about what I wanted to talk about.
Like grabbing his crotch on the sideline and things like that. Is that
grabbing his crotch?
Yeah. That's what
Who grabbed whose crotch?
He grabbed his own crotch.
Who?
Baker Mayfield
in
a game against Colorado. He's a
football player?
Yes, he plays for Oklahoma. He played against
Why would
Georgia.
he grab his crotch?
Because he was mad.
Okay. And so what happened? They're suing him for grabbing his crotch?
No, it's an off-the-field thing.
Sexual harassment thing. You can't sexually harass yourself.
Go ahead, Wanda.
Can you? You
Tell
cannot.
Us all about what's going on.
Well, speaking of sexual harassment, so I just thought I'd bring just a small. I hate to go on and on.
You talked about this on the last episode.
But but I started thinking about it. How his hair, you said it was on fire.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that's not the only thing on fire. I bet his crotch is on fire. I bet it's a stormy situation down there.
And who is he?
I'm not saying any names.
Okay.
Saying it's a stormy situation.
All right.
What are your thoughts on my story?
Your story?
Yeah.
Your story is about, Stormy and probably why he's on fire.
Yeah.
Not much at all.
Crotch. Can I say crotch on TV?
Yes, you can say crotch. Yay, crotch. Wanda. Okay. Next up, Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen says, bad picks, 9 picks ahead of you? Are you insane? You and Sam Darnold are the Pac-12, a conference that really is weak. It's a weak conference. These 2 quarterbacks...
You gonna let me know what's
are the worst group of quarterbacks I've ever seen, and they make it bigger than life this year because there's so many of them. Just because there's so many doesn't mean they're good. Mm-hmm. I think the Jets, and especially Arizona, made a bad pick by picking either one of these guys. I think Lamar Jackson and him going to Baltimore with Hayden Hurst, a tight end from South Carolina, they were the winners. They were Sony Michel with.
I think everybody's all jealous and shit. Cause I'm like the lead singer.
Why are you playing Eminem?
Oh, it's not my turn, but you didn't say that I couldn't do stuff over here. You just said I couldn't say anything to them.
Josh Allen and Buffalo, I think that was very good. I think along with him, Tremaine Edwards on defense, I think they're one of the winners. Also, New England, of course, with Sony Michel, Isaiah Wynn, 2 Georgia Bulldogs that I guess they had Georgia on their mind in the state of Massachusetts.
Do you like him, Liam? Do you like him?
He's okay.
Just okay?
Okay, yes. And the Falcons with Calvin Ridley. What a winner that was. I mean, we're talking about Nick Saban won all these national championships over a decade, and he did it with running and not really passing.
Do you want me to turn it down?
Yes, please. Turn it down. Volume down. And they've only had 3 receivers really that great, and 2 of them are in the Falcons. Calvin Ridley, and you have Julio Jones. So what a winner they were. The losers.
Can you tell me when it's my turn?
Go ahead, Wanda.
Okay, hold on. I want to put this song on pause. So, all right, we'll get back to it. Okay, since you didn't really seem to like my analogy earlier, is that basically admit when you're wrong. Okay? And I said because I spent half my life in the laundry room and half of it in the kitchen, and I thought that people that built houses in the 80s, they did that, and I didn't understand it. Well, actually, that's pretty smart because they wanted to keep their, and you said I can't say the word that rhymes with witch.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to keep their woman, their witch, it rhymes with witch, in one room of the house, which was pretty smart. I personally don't like it, and the studies have been shown to say that actually multitasking does not work.
So we only need 3 rooms in our house: a bathroom to go to the bathroom, a laundry room, and a kitchen so you can do your chores.
Multitask room.
Okay.
That's 2 rooms.
I like that. I like that, Wanda.
And our little sports room, so 4.
Right.
What? Oh my God, where are we going to put the kids? Huh?
I
Did they get a room?
know. I don't know. But, you know,
Okay.
but
Well, the
and that
point
sounds
of
like
this,
a winning situation. And speaking of a winning
the point of
situation,
this was to admit when you're wrong. Have you ever been wrong about
I
anything?
have been wrong. I have been very wrong. I might be wrong about Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
I might be right. I might be wrong about Sonny
Thank
Michel
you for
being the
letting me
best
have
running back.
my time.
You're
won't say
welcome,
anything.
Wanda. You're very much welcome.
All right.
The Bears. The Chicago Bears, I don't know what it is, but they went and they got Leonard Floyd 2 years ago, linebacker out of Georgia, and then they turn around again another first pick at linebacker from the University of Georgia. The Bears must see something in the University of Georgia as far as linebacker. Has it become linebacker you? I don't know. But it's just sort of crazy to see 2 linebackers in the first round from the same university going to the Chicago Bears. I have noticed that the Bears have been failing in the past years, and a lot of their draft picks have not been major universities. A lot of them have not
Oh,
been
I have a
SEC
question
teams.
That's related to football.
What, Wanda?
How many teams are named after animals?
I don't know. Why
And
don't
that
you look
includes
that up?
like reptiles,
Why don't you?
like the gators.
See, that's not the NFL.
But, just football.
Well,
both of
if
them.
we went to college, we'd be here all day. We wouldn't be 21
Okay.
minutes of sports. We'd be 21 hours of sports.
So how many in just college football are named after animals?
I don't know. It would take forever, Wanda.
Do you want me to Google it?
Yes, why don't you do that? All right. So while Wanda's Googling up teams' names and animals and whatever
after
else that
animals.
she's doing,
Just like music, like
right
White
now
Snake.
we also want to talk about the fact that Lamar Jackson did get drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. And I said before this draft that Lamar Jackson will be, maybe not within a year, but in 2 years, will be the best quarterback out of all these guys right now. I really do believe that they picked up the right person. He's got speed. And look, in the right system, he'll be able to throw the ball and do what he needs to do to be successful. But going back to Saquon Barkley, yes, he's 4.4 speed. Yes, he's all that coming out of the backfield, catching the ball. But I don't have an understanding why they are anointing this guy the best thing since Adrian Peterson out of a draft. When I don't even think Nick Chubb from Georgia is going to be good. Let's say he gets picked up in the second round today. I don't think he's going to be as good. He cannot run between the tackles. You saw in that Alabama game, 20-something yards in the game. Sonny Michel almost had 100 yards in the game because he's shiftier, he's quicker, and Bill Belichick in New England, they're smart. They know what they're doing. They got Isaiah Wynn, and they got him. Like I say, those are the winners.
I have the answer.
Go ahead.
Well, it didn't bring up the college, but it brought up the NFL, and it says there's 16, which is basically half of them are named after animals.
Okay.
But,
Are you an animal? If you were an animal, what would you be, Wanda?
ooh, a tiger.
All right. Would you scratch me?
Do you want me to? But I'm not going to with that attitude that you've had to me today.
That's
I'll
a
tell you that
different
right
show,
now.
ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a different show. What is Calvin Ridley going to do in that dome along with Julio Jones? That is the question. I think with Matt Ryan as their quarterback, they're adding something to where Julio can get more wide open. I think they really didn't have that that tier one receiver on the other side for Julio to have these open looks. This is the piece that they need. I think Atlanta can move forward.
It's not on
and I think in the second round, the Falcons need to go looking for more defensive players because they got enough on offense after this. This was the icing on the cake. This was what made Atlanta a winner as far as this draft so far in the first round. And also, of course, New England once again. Buffalo also. Huh?
Is it my turn now?
Go ahead, Wanda.
Okay, just a little brief news here. It's in the Time magazine that we get. I don't read the whole thing. I just, basically the cover story. So I'm going to let you know the highlights of the cover story. Dude says that he's an addict, that he takes pills, and it got up to be $80 a pill. And he would take about 8 of them a day. I'm not spending $80 on a pill. Okay, right there, I don't understand where do people get all that money from to buy it. But anyways, he says that he's not trying to die, contrary of what people may believe, that he's not trying to kill himself. He's just an addict. And his name is John. They won't tell you what his last name or anything. And I say good for John because you know what? It's just like Dr. Phil said. You cannot change what you don't acknowledge. And John knows he's an addict, so then he can help himself.
That it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. So right now, what would you feel would be your best takeaways from, round one with the draft? My takeaway would be number one is people, I think, we're overblown as far as the quarterback situation. Just because you have, less is more, like you always like to say, less is more.
I wish somebody told Bill Cosby that.
Oh, no, you didn't. Okay, so less is more because if you had one great quarterback this year, that would be great. Everybody would be looking to get this quarterback first. But what you had was a lot of quarterbacks and really not a lot of quality. I'm telling you right now, Josh Rosen is going to be a humongous bust. I'm wondering if the city of New York, what they're going to think in 2 or 3 years between Rosen and Barkley and what they're not going to do for their organization. Now, Barkley is not going to be a total bust, but he's going to be a bust in the.
Do you believe in quality over quantity?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the instance of he's not as good as here, but he's just going to be average here. He's not going to be a total bust to where he will get cut years from now. He just won't be that running back that people think, like Eddie Lacy. I don't think he's going to be Eddie Lacy, but he's going to be that average running back, but not the running back that you're putting him up on a pedestal about. I think, like I said, Sony Michel, 4.5, can come out of the backfield, and he's shiftier, he's quicker, he does a lot of things. Yes, he doesn't block as well as Barkley, and maybe Eli needs that running back for blocking in the backfield. But I'm telling you right now.
Do you think it's dark in here?
No, it's just perfect.
Is it my turn again?
Go ahead, Wanda.
Do you really want to hear it? Because you don't sound sincere.
Yes, I do. Go ahead.
Okay. There's a survey that said 34% said a natural birth was extremely important of women. They're talking about, obviously. 34% said that they want to have no drugs, no nothing, and just sit home in like this blow up baby pool, and thought that was a better option. If you want, that don't make you feel any more important as a mother. Because you go through pain. You're going to go through pain at least for the next 18 years until you can get them the hell out of your house. You don't have to go without the drugs when they're born. Take the drugs. Get it over with. Especially when they hit the terrible twos. Believe me, it'll more than make up for it. You want to feel bad. You want to feel pain. That's just stupid to me.
Okay. Are you done?
Yeah.
All right. So, I think the rest of the draft going into round 2, yes, I think Nick Chubb is the one that everybody's going to be looking at, but once again, he's not going to be as good as you think he is, just like Saquon Barkley. Round two, also, I don't think this is the year of the wide receiver. I think that the Falcons jumped in there and said, okay, you look at the list of wide receivers you have, it's not there, okay? We need to go ahead and take the best receiver they have in this draft because it was Calvin Ridley or bust. It was. You look at the list underneath him, and it's just not there. They are not tier 1 receivers. They're more tier 3 receivers.
Here, I love you.
Also, Geis from LSU, I think that he would be a good pickup. I believe going into the second round that there are a lot of teams still out there that need that running game. I think that he is not, I think Fox came out and said that, they ranked him ahead of Chubb. I think they actually had him ahead of Sony Michel. He's good, but he's not great. I don't think this draft this year has a lot of just it players, except for, Bradley Chubb, Sony Michel, players like
You like
that.
Metallica?
They're okay. Yeah, I like them. But they don't have the gigantic players in this draft. And, it astounds me for the media to go out there and say, hey, this and this player's great, and this player's great, this player would be so good, and everything like that. But, when you have, Roquan Smith in the draft, and a lot of people talk about Saquon Barkley.
Can you tell me when it's my turn when you're done, please?
You can go ahead. What do you got, Wanda?
Okay, so I was going through my attic last night to see what's in there. And so I have a little show and tell. I don't know. I mean, I'm not into golf because I think it's a hobby and it's just kind of boring to watch. But anyway, this is my Wheaties box from the year 2000 with Tiger Woods on it. Has a CD. It's never been opened. What eBay would call NIB, new in box. Still has the wrap on it. Would you eat this? It's like 20 years old.
No.
Don't you think it's cool?
But, hey, for a little analogy to segue from that, I think the Giants and the Jets are both going to be eating something that's going to taste a little as stale as that in a couple of years with the draft picks they have.
And I have, I'm not into car racing either, but this is Richard Petty's. He was on Cheerios. I don't know what year it was though.
43s, I think.
What year?
43s, maybe.
Not 1943. That's his number, man.
Oh, okay. So I don't know.
Oh my
anything
God.
about car racing.
Oh my
All
God.
right, so I don't
on.
know. Come on. Yeah, all right. Blah, blah, blah.
God. Wait, what does that say? Best if used by. What's that number on there?
I can't read. I don't have my glasses, but I can see through everything. So the next episode, we'll be talking about round 2 and what teams are winning and what teams are losing. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, I will say this, that Saquon Barkley is going to be the biggest bust in this round 1. You look back 2-3 years from now, you'll see that because of the competition, when the competition was high, like Ohio State, 47 yards in the game, that sticks out in my mind right there. Also, the Rosen and Darnold, being from the Pac-12, being from a weak conference, I don't see them doing anything. When they go against some of these ACC and especially SEC defensive players, in the league with speed, they're not going to know what to do. And really, they weren't 110% when they were going against mediocre defenses in the Pac-12.
Can I have one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I also had this Alex Rodriguez. That's J-Lo's boyfriend.
Right.
This was back in 2001. It's a little car, after him.
All right.
And it has a card in a baseball card.
Yeah.
On it too.
The Texas Rangers.
Also, new in box.
New in box.
No, never been open.
New in box, never been open.
Don't you think that's neat?
And speaking of this, segue from this, everybody needs a fresh start. And some of these teams that
Baseball's boring too, don't you think?
I don't know. Ask Chipper Jones back here.
I'm asking you your opinion. You don't think it's boring?
I think baseball is boring to some and very intriguing to others.
I'm asking about you.
I think the speed of the game is too slow, and that's why the NFL has become more popular.
Do you think baseball's boring? Yes or no?
Yes, it's boring, Wanda.
Oh,
You wanted
okay,
to say,
just
okay,
say
but we got a draft show going here, okay?
And we don't
a
have
draft
that,
show,
so you
and we're
should just
talking
say
about
yes.
baseball.
You could have just said yes and went on about your
Okay.
business. Go ahead.
Anyway, on
Go
our
ahead.
next episode, we will be talking about round 2 and the winners and losers of round 2 in the NFL draft and which players are going to do well. You know, like I say, I'm looking at the future. I'm not looking at right away. So we'll see you next week on 21 minutes of sports.
Can I have another turn,
No, Wanda.
please?